Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. It is Julia Sotis and
Katie Rubin.
Hi, Katie Rubin. It's nice to see you here today.
It's nice to be here.
So Katie, we wanted to tell everybody about a class that I'm facilitating, and Katie is doing a wonderful job of hosting and thinking about and talking about.
Yeah. So we're here in two very different locations. I am in a prison, as you can see, or an elementary school, depending on your point of view. It's actually not those things. It's a cafe that looks like that. Julia looks great with her makeup and her beautifulness.
I just put on the lipstick, so.
Put on lipstick. I, however, look like I just got out of a weird Nazi internment camp.
Oh, God.
But with earrings. Anyway, yeah, so I'm just excited about this. I'm actually real excited about what we're doing, and I think we just wanted to get together and talk about that a little bit for people's benefit. I could talk a little bit about why I'm excited about it, if that feels useful.
That feels very good.
Okay, so, I know that a lot of us, if this doesn't read for people, ignore the thing I'm about to say, but I've noticed a fair amount of access people of late really looking at their money stuff. It's like a theme across the board right now that I'm seeing. And whether it is or isn't from your point of view, or if that's true or not true, regardless, money's been a theme for me forever. And I've learned a lot of things in my other consciousness systems and other classes and in Access, and I'm always sort of expanding what I know and how to be and questions I can ask with money. There's something about even just the notion of, like, the title of Gary's book, How to Become Money. I asked Julia recently her point of view about, like, why do we have to become money? Why can't we just make more, or like get more, or receive more, or whatever? And even just the conversation about that was incredibly useful, because what we talked about was, it's like anywhere that we are resisting being anything is a place where we can't receive that thing. And of course, in this culture and on this planet, we all have so many points of view, or a lot of us do, about receiving, creating, or being money. Like, we are all like, rich people are like this, and poor people are like that, and money's bad, money's good, and I want it, and I need it, and I have it, and all that.
Right.
And so I guess, like, the short version of what I would say is, because I'm already talking too long, is
I can hear that thought coming out of your head, and I'm like, she's getting to a really good point, but she's going to try to stop this.
Is that I've looked at a lot of stuff around money, and it almost feels like the only thing left is to become money. In other words, I know a lot of what to do about money, but for me, it's about who am I being in relation to money. And I get that there's still a place in me where I'm being something resistant to something about money.
Right.
So I'm excited about doing the workbook, because of the whole concept of becoming money, not just creating it or receiving it or making it, but how to become money. So says the title of the thing. And finally, doing so with this particular individual, because she's done this book 27,000 times. Translation.
Maybe get a life. No, I started reading this book, I guess, in 2012, 4 years ago. And I've read it 27 times. I facilitated this class about 6 times. It started off in my living room in the middle of the prairies of Canada in Brandon, and I would have people over to my living room, and we would just read through the book, and anything that came up, we would facilitate. And it changed things a crazy amount. Like, I got I was bartending at the time when I first started, and somebody gave me $1,000 tip. And just different things like that started to just show up. And then after I'd read it like 15 or 18 times, my income went from like $3,000 a month, because I worked for myself, it would change, to a consistent $10,000 to $12,000 a month. So it's been an amazing journey, and really, I really have the point of view that if you can't have a money problem if you read this book a lot of times. That's just my point of view. And because what's written in its pages is the energy that will allow you to become it. And once you become it, you can't have conflict with it because it's an energy that you are now being. And like Katie said, we have a lot of conflict with it. And when you were saying like it's something that is coming up in my life lately, I'm like, I think it's something that's coming up in everybody's life every second of every day. Like, it's so insidious. And you know, a lot of people say in Access, or who come to Access, they're like, why do you guys talk about money so much? And it's like, because it's such a secretive wrongness and it's such a fight. And I really, really am grateful for this book because it has taken it out of a fight into something of clarity for me. And so I'm really grateful for that. And I want to share that with people because it's really is possible.
I love that. And one thing I'd like to ask you that I think might contribute for people is, can you say briefly what your experience is with the relationship between one's level of intimacy with oneself and the money thing? Like, the reason I'm asking is because when I interact with you or I watch you talk or whatever, just watching you be, one thing I really enjoy and appreciate about you is I perceive you to be someone who has a lot of intimacy with herself, meaning I see you as someone who's you're just being you. There's not a lot of like, I should be like this, or I'm going to perform, or I'll be interesting, or I'll be smart. You're just like,
right.
Julia. And there's some awareness that I have about some way that money and that do this. Do you have any insights or any awareness about that?
That's probably the best question I've ever been asked in my whole life.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Can I get back to you? I want to like write an essay on the subject. No coffee right now. She's in a meeting.
That was like a lady about to bring me food that wasn't mine. Not here. Not here.
Go ahead. We're back.
Okay. So I have no idea what we were talking about.
Oh, no, you asked me the most profound question I'd ever been asked, and I have no idea. In this time where we paused, I should have come up with an answer to it. But, okay, no, it was about intimacy with self and money. And I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just, I've trudged through the shadow of the valley of death on my own in many ways, and like been willing to like lose everything like over and over and over again. And when I was finally, and I mean with money, like I took crazy huge financial risks based on what was light for me in my future, and moved across the country when I was $33,000 in debt, and took out a $3,000 a month apartment when I was making no money, like less than $3,000 a month. And I was just like, I'd heard Gary say once that if you live in a place that totally nurtures your body and being, the money will come to pay for it. And then it did. So like, I've like lost not lost, I still have my family, I still am myself, but I've been willing to lose everything over and over and over. And I have intimacy with myself because I know that at the end of the rainbow, or that like at the end of it, I'm always going to keep being there. And wherever I go, there's a life waiting for me, and there's something to be created. So I don't have to worry about anything. So, and I guess money just goes along with that in the sense of like, when you're becoming money, I don't know, it's always creatable, you know? I know that it's like, even though I'm self-employed and some months, I don't know if I'm going to make that amount of money. Some months, you know, maybe nobody's going to do this thing, or, you know, and it's like, but I just know that it's going to happen. And it's not even that I believe in myself. It's like, I just know. So, yeah.
Yeah. See, that right there, I think that's super valuable and really cool and interesting and unique in that. And that's part of why I'm excited to do the class with you, to have you facilitate it, is that just knowing is a thing that I think a lot of us are looking to have, be, create, receive. I'd say I like know it, but I know it and then believe still I kind of have to like hustle like this to make it happen.
Right.
And like, there's a way that I watch you move and the energy is not like, ah! The energy is like, okay. And I'm looking to have more of that, like to have money be like, yeah, I know it, rather than mine, which is like, I know it, here we go.
Right.
Have to be like that.
Oh, I get it. I mean, I'm still like that sometimes behind the scenes, but I do have this like, yeah, man, like I got it. Like I can lose it, I can have it, I can whatever it. It's an interesting point of view.
Yeah.
So
So I just wonder how much we can create for ourselves and other people who decide to join us with this class. I just get so much like joy and lightness just even thinking about it. You know, also I'd like to just say this formally, not that anybody gives a shit, but I'm going to say it. People have asked me to like post stuff for them before, and I don't actually wanna. Like, I wouldn't just do this. Like, I'm doing this specifically because whatever the energy is of this class with you and me and the people who just are coming,
yeah.
it's very exciting to me. And I think it comes back to what you were saying about, you know, how money is such a hot button issue for everyone on the planet, and how nobody wants it to be, nobody wants to talk about it, nobody wants to make a deal of it. But until you get present to it and make a deal of it, it can't change. It's like I'm always telling my healing clients who I work with individually on the table, I'm like, so let's get present to the thing you're not wanting to be present to, because until we're present to it, we can't change it.
Yeah.
If it stays out in like, la la la, it doesn't exist land, it doesn't get the benefit of our attention and our consciousness, and it can't shift. At least that's my interest.
No, I completely agree with that. And that's like, that's why this book makes such a difference. And even like the organizing your finances series too. I don't know how many it's like, you have to get present with it. Like you have to like put in numbers and play with numbers and look at your bank account. Like I remember when I was in all that debt, I was just so scared all the time, and I didn't want to look at my bank account. And I had online banking. And so every day I would force myself to go into online banking and just look at it. And even that changed everything. So I completely concur with what you were saying. You have to be present with it.
You want to know something funny? There's a book called How to Get Out of Debt, Stay Out of Debt, and Live Prosperously that you're about to pull up your shelf.
Look at this.
There it is. Boom. Now, here's what's funny to me about that is that that's a book I was introduced to years ago, and finally like kind of got into, and I sort of dipped in and out of it, and then I get to access, and I was like, they're gonna have magical ways of making money happen. And then Gary Douglas was like, how about you read this book, How to Get Out of Debt, Stay Out of Debt, and Live Prosperously? I was like, ah! And it was already excited, but I was like, la la la, I don't want to know.
But it is.
So I'm like,
you ain't gonna change it if you don't get present with it. Sorry.
That's
yeah,
right.
totally.
And the tools in that book are so practical and so useful and so simple, and I apply them, and they really work for me. They've taken me from where I was, which was like no dollars, to I make now between $4 and $6 grand a month, because I require that amount. And just getting clear about what I require has radically changed my life, which is something I got from that book and from just practicing the principles in that book. Now, this book, we're going to workshop through what the awareness I have is this takes us to the next level, or it has the potential, it has the possibility, how to become money. That book right there.
Level 1, level 2.
Boom. Is that right?
Necessarily mean that, but I like your style.
Oh, that's so funny. It's going to take us to the level of being money, such that it's like the way I look at it, and tell me if you see it this way. There's the practical tools of how to behave with it that actually exist. Some things work and some things don't, practically on the earth, with what you do with your feet and your hands and your dollar bills. Mm-hmm. And then there's the energy we're being and the consciousness we're being in relationship to all that.
Yeah. Well, that is the creation of this. It's like if you change this all works out really nice.
How does it get better than that?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, those are the things I'm excited about. And yeah.
Me too. I'm just excited to hang out with you every week for 6 weeks.
Julia,
it's our party.
I'm receiving it.
That's the action of receiving.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for working with me on this. I'm so excited. And what day do we start? I don't even know when we start. Let's look at the book. See, now here's the other book. It's free on Amazon.
Let's see. We're gonna, you know what we're doing right now? We're being clear with our time and our numbers.
Exactly.
We're having clarity, except that I can't pull it up.
I don't know where this is. Oh, we're having a free hangout. I think we start October 4th, and the free hangout is Wednesday, September 14th at 12 Pacific, 3 Eastern. And then you get around the club. I think it's October 4th.
I think you're right. And
then it's every Tuesday
for 6 weeks starting October 4th, every Tuesday.
We're going to try to get through the book 3 times. Usually we do, but sometimes we get too crazy. So, and ridiculously, we're only charging $175. So
why would you not do this?
Yeah. So.
Really?
All right. Well, thanks, Katie. And I hope to see you guys there.
Okay. Bye, guys.